Welcome back to the Pulse on the Joy News channel, Multi TV. It's now time for sports with Gary Osman. Gary, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Francis.
Now, from the morning up until this minute, it's been all talk about Nilante van der Poel, sports minister, and the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantakyi. What's this?
Well, just so that we can give some background to the story, the sports minister has been speaking to issues surrounding the alleged payment that's been happening in terms of buying tickets for foreign-based players coming down to play for the game against Rwanda. Now, the issue is simple. He wanted the Black Stars to field a locally based team to be able to face Rwanda at the weekend. The GFA said that the notice came too late. The notice came after they had sent the invitations to the players. As you may know, there are 14 days per FIFA rules to be able to send notices to all players who are being invited. The sports minister apparently told the GFA, one, only last week, and two, he told them by phone, and that's the problem.
So, if it's a question of communication, Gary, then why is it playing out in this manner, where it's beginning to look as if someone doesn't know his job? It's beginning to turn like fights on radio over who approves a budget and who allows things to flow. What's this?
Well, if we can elevate the discussion a bit, it's now a question of power play.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, if you listen to the sports minister on Joy FM this morning, his posture was of somebody, and he kept saying, I want the GFA to respect me as a minister. I want the GFA to respect the ministry as an entity because they are under the ministry. And the GFA, through the spokesperson and also through Wilfred Osei, who is the vice chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee, also keeps saying that the sports minister is not meeting them halfway. Ibrahim Salidara actually, and I'm quoting him, says that when we meet the minister one-on-one, he is nice, and when he goes out there, he is something else.
So is this just a simple story of power play, or there's more to this, where he says that you don't respect me enough, accord me respect, or someone is just playing the power game here and someone is losing? I mean,
well, so behind the power play, there is a method to his madness. So what is his point? For those who don't understand what's going on, after the Black Stars qualified for Mauritius, it was indeed discussed among some of us media colleagues on air that, you know, because we have already qualified, when it's time for the game against Rwanda in September, probably Ghana should use just locally based players to, one, save taxpayers' money, and B, to be able to make sure that, you know, the local based players get some valuable experience. However, some people in the public and even some people in the GFA keep saying that we have a World Cup qualifier that's coming against Uganda in October, right? So if we should use locally based players, it might affect our preparations for that. Both sides have a point.
Yeah.
But it was up to them as it were, adults who are in charge of two very powerful and influential agencies to be able to just sit down and sort it out.
The one strapped in the middle here will be the players.
That's
who are
where
coming to play.
That's where we are.
And how is that being managed? How are they taking all of this?
Well, I spoke to a very senior official who used to be a Black Stars player yesterday, and I've been assured that you are not going to hear the players say anything when they come down. Okay, so some of them, the story is that Andre Ayew has offered to buy the tickets for those who cannot pay, but some of them are able to pay, so they will come.
And again, I saw another story that of the minister saying, well, if he can pay for them to come, he might as well pay the winning bonuses too.
Which is very odd, you know. That's what we are talking about, the power play. But on your question about how it will affect the players, yesterday we interviewed Sam Johnson, former Black Stars and Fenerbahce player, and he said, oh, as for the players, I mean, they should just focus on what they have to do because this will blow over, and they shouldn't allow this to bother them, because at the end of the day, it's Rwanda, the qualification has already been sealed. They should just make sure that they make a good account of themselves, and also they use it to get their places locked down ahead of the qualifier against Uganda in October.
Will this be the last straw in this long drawn power play battle between the two bodies?
We have adults in this country, and you just played an interview featuring the moderator of the Presbyterian Church. You see the way he commanded and read a statement on behalf of the church. He is the man sitting at the top. We have people sitting at the top of this church we call Ghana, who are watching their two appointees, as it were, Kwesi Nyantakyi and Nilante van der Poel. you know, and they can call them and say, you guys, stop the power play, because we need to be moving forward.
Yeah.
Whatever your issues are, there has to be an adult to call them to order. We are waiting for those adults.
Okay. Now, we know Sani Dara has been speaking on this. What's he been saying?
Well, Ibrahim Sani, he spoke in reaction to some of the comments from the sports minister. The sports minister said that the GFA should stop letting their small boys, I'm quoting him, insult him. And he described them as cowdung. You know, the GFA president, Kwesi Nyantakyi, has also last week in an interview called the sports minister a serial caller. So this is the next installment of the
back and forth.
The back and forth.
Let's
yes,
see what
Ibrahim Sani.
Well, the thing is that the minister has decided to communicate to the FA through WhatsApp groups and radio stations. This concept he espoused so well, we only heard about it on Thursday on a radio station. And the radio station had read it on a WhatsApp platform.
I say.
And there are rules for inviting players, be it home-based players or abroad. FIFA's rules are that you should give the teams a 14-day notice.
Okay, whether they are local
or foreign-based. So
because a football club is a football club.
It's a football club. So if it goes beyond the 14 days, the club can say, I won't release the player, and there's nothing you can do. Now, we got to know that we've qualified already 3 months ago. And the minister himself said that we have a World Cup qualifier against Congo coming up. And in these days, you don't have any opportunity of gathering your players to help them bond and train before a match. So matches like this, even though we have qualified, are the avenue for you to try your players before the qualifiers. We don't have these opportunities. Perhaps if the minister had communicated with us 3 months ago, it is something we could discuss with the coach and even discuss with the minister that, look, these are what it is. Then we'll come to a conclusion and come with a united front. But when you pass these messages on WhatsApp groups and radio stations, how do you expect us to respond? And in this very last minute, you cannot make changes to the squad.
Okay.
So you are forced to make do with it. And if we don't play the match, one, we'll be banned for the African Cup of Nations for 2017, which we have qualified for, and two, we'll be banned for the 2019
tournament. We're not going to honor the match.
Exactly.
Do you think the minister is about to witch hunt you at the Football Association?
I think the jury is out there for the public to decide. The public must decide on this. But even before he took office, from the day he was vetted up to today, he has subjected the GFA to several attacks.
Okay.
And the history is well documented since 2009.
Well, the minister will not be the only one who criticizes the Football Association, to the point that we've been told the Football Association doesn't do well in organizing the league adequately or the football setup in our country adequately. As a result of that, the sport doesn't attract enough sponsorships. I guess the minister is only playing to the whole scheme.
It's absolutely not true.
Do you have a sponsorship for the league?
We do have a sponsorship. We have a television sponsor in SuperSport.
Which
and
would see enough revenue?
No, not enough revenue.
That's not headline sponsor.
Yes. But that said, we had a sponsor until the eve of the start of the competition when it pulled out. The league has a value of not less than $3 million. And to get $3 million sponsorship is no child's play. However, the duty of the minister is not to damage the brand. Imagine
that's your worry as a footballer.
Exactly. Imagine that the trade minister of Ghana says that a product like, let's say, Voltic, which sells in neighboring countries, or Blue Skies, I've seen in the shelves in London, is unattractive. What would happen to that minister? It's tantamount to the minister saying a similar thing about us. And for us, these continuous attacks, sometimes we've prompted him. A lot of our elders have gone to him to speak with each other.
Your elders?
A lot of them. Mr. Ernest Thompson, Mr. Ofosuban,
the more older works in the football fraternity.
Yes, have gone to him to talk to him. He said he will stop the next 2 days. He throws another salvo. So it looks like...
So the two of you are throwing salvos at each other?
No, we are not throwing salvos.
How did we come to a truce on this very subject?
Well, the minister must decide that he's a father for all. and he wants to support the growth of all sport, not to isolate all sport and demonize football. After all, football is the only sport in this country that brings revenue to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. All of our clubs pay revenue to the Ministry for Youth and Sports. One, for the maintenance of the stadia in this country. Two, we pay VAT on all the matches we play in this country. So far, this season, we have paid more than 2 billion old Ghana cedis in VAT alone.
You mean 200,000?
200,000 Ghana cedis in VAT alone. Apart from the monies given to the ministry to maintain the stadia, all the other sports in this country train, do whatever at the stadia for free. Even these Black Stars we are talking about, they bring revenue. They take gate proceeds. We don't see 1 cedi of it. So won't we say that we are going back to the bad old days of when players had to pay for their ways to come to the national
team? In the early 90s,
exactly.
and throughout the 90s,
exactly.
And the early part of the 2000s.
We departed from that, and that brought us huge successes. Is this where we want to go back to?
Now the players
yes, the players
paid for their own tickets.
They paid for their own tickets. Andrea, you paid for some, about 7 of them. So that is where we are now.
I see. Okay, so they'll be honoring the match this very weekend?
Yes, they'll be honoring the match on Saturday. Kickoff time is at 3:30 p.m.
Who pay their bonuses?
Well, we've not gotten there. The players have not spoken about bonuses whatsoever.
Well, they'll speak about it. Who will pay their bonuses, Sanidara?
Well, I don't know. The players have said that they are committed to their country. It's the reason why they've paid to come. Any which means, whether it's local players or foreign players playing, you would have bonuses to pay for them.
So that's Ibrahim Sanidara finishing the discussion for now here. Francis?
Yeah, and you see, for all of this, I keep saying that bottom line is we have a game to play. We have an AFCON to go to next year.
We have a World Cup qualifier.
The World Cup, yeah. Exactly. So how do we manage this properly? You've mentioned elders in the country doing something about this. But how do these players, those who've jetted into play, the local players, also find a way of quieting the noise and getting the job done?
That's the next step, and that is why there are people paid to manage that. We hope that they'll be able. We can only, as the fourth estate, give suggestions and so on. They can decide to pick it up.
I just hope that it doesn't affect us long term.
Yeah, we just hope so.
Just hope so.
So that's the sport for now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Al-Smith. I've been joined by Francis Aban, who has been my analyst for now. He'll revert to his usual role of your anchor in a bit. Bye-bye.